Hey, Shalom, this is your brother Karath. I'd like to start by giving all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, Ba'Hashem, Rakakadash, and a special Shalom to those that are continuing to labor to be in the spirit that Lord Yahushai came in. Shalom to you. I think I'm going to entitle this one, When God Used Discretion to Decide a Case. Let's start over here in Jeremiah. This is Jeremiah 33 and verse 25. It reads, "Thus saith the Lord, if my covenant be not with day and night, and if I have not appointed the ordinances of heaven and earth, then will I cast away the seed of Jacob." But the point is that the Most High has a natural law set up in nature. So nature has an unwritten ordinance. You know what I'm saying? Nature has an unwritten ordinance. And this unwritten ordinance, it governs the seen world. It governs the seen world. The Most High, he can be seen operating, outside of these ordinances. Second Kings, let me go here. The Heavenly Father can be seen operating outside of these ordinances. This is Second Kings. Second Kings 6 and verse 5. It reads, "But as one was felling a beam, the axe head fell into the water, and he cried and said, 'Alas, master, for it was borrowed.' And the man of the Most High said, 'Where fell it?' And he showed him the place, and he cut down a stick and cast it in thither, and the iron did swim." You see, so this is an example of an axe head basically just floating. You know what I'm saying? Which is uncommon in the natural world, but this is going against the natural ordinances that were written, that we've just brought out in Jeremiah 33 and 25. Nature has an unwritten law that the Most High has put in nature, but here we can see the Heavenly Father causing, going against that law. Or we got this instance in Joshua. This is Joshua 10. This is Joshua 10 and verse 12. It reads, "Then spake Joshua to the Lord in the day when the Lord delivered up the Amorites before the children of Israel, and said in the sight of Israel, Sun, stand thou still upon Gibeon, and thou moon in the valley of Ajalon. And the sun stood still, and the moon stayed until the people had avenged themselves upon their enemies. Is not this written in the book of Jasher? So the sun stood still in the midst of heaven, and hasted not to go down about a whole day." So this is once again the Heavenly Father going against the natural law. And let's grab this. This is James 5 and 17. I'm building this case first, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go into the meat of what I want to speak about. This is James 5 and 17. It reads, "Elias was a man subject to like passions as we are, and he prayed earnestly that it might not rain, and it rained not on the earth by the space of 3 years and 6 months." So once again, this is the Heavenly Father. This is Elijah through the power of the Heavenly Father, causing it to not rain for 3 years and 6 months. Once again, this is going against the established ordinances of nature. Let me grab this last one. This is 2 Kings 20. This is 2 Kings 20. Second Kings 20 and verse 10 reads, "And Hezekiah answered, It is a light thing for the shadow to go down 10 degrees Nay, but let the shadow return backward 10 degrees. And Isaiah the prophet cried unto the Lord, and he brought the shadow 10 degrees backward, by which it had gone down in the dial of Ahaz. So this is the Heavenly Father making the shadow of the sundial go backwards. So this is him once again going against the established order and the established law. And you might be asking yourself, why is he going to these things? Why is he speaking about these things? It's because even when it comes to nature, the Most High uses his discretion. You know what I mean? Even when it comes to the established ordinance of nature, he uses his discretion. And the reason he does these things and he defies his own law, or he operates outside of his implemented law, to further to further righteousness, to boast, to boost faith and uphold his enduring attributes. Once again, the reason the Heavenly Father defies these laws and operates outside of these implemented laws is to further righteousness, boost faith, and uphold his enduring attributes. So people might look at the law and think to themselves, the Most High, he violates his own law. But the reason he does things like this is he does this for it's a purpose. He does this because he has a purpose. It's a purposed mission. And this is Genesis. And I'm going to explain what I mean by this. This is Genesis 2. In verse 2, it says, and on the seventh day, the Most High ended his work, which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work, which he had made. Verse 3, and the Most High blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work, which the Most High created and made. And then if you jump to Exodus 20, this is Exodus 20 and 11. It reads, for in 6 days the Most High, the Adawan, made heaven and earth, the sea and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the seventh day and hallowed it. So you can see here, verse 10, it says, but the seventh day is the Sabbath unto the Lord thy power. In it thou shalt not do any work. But when you jump to St. John 6, St. John 5 and verse 16, it says, and therefore did the Jews persecute Yahushua. And this was after the Yahushua made an individual whole on the Sabbath day. They were upset that he made an individual whole on the Sabbath day. But let me go ahead and carry on here. This is St. John 5 and 16. It says, and therefore did the Jews persecute Yahushua and sought to slay him, because he had done these things on the Sabbath day. Verse 17, but Yahushua answered them, my Father worketh hitherto, and I work. So it says, he's basically saying Yahweh is working on the Sabbath day, or he's continued to work, and his work hasn't ceased. But it says that in Genesis 2 through 3, he rested on the Sabbath. He rested on the seventh day. And in Exodus 20 and 11, it's supposed to be a day of rest. So why would Yahushua say that why would Yahushua say that he's still working? Well, the reason he's doing that is because his work, he's outside of the law, because his purpose was to promote love, joy, peace, and push up and prompt long suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. There's no law against these things. That's why he can continue to work in these things, because there's no law against these things. So what may look like the Most High is violating his own law is actually he's completely there's no law against it. So when people say the Most High, it may look like the Most High is not keeping his own law. In actuality, he definitely is. It's just that he's using his discretion to decide cases, and this is how the Most High wants us to be. The Most High wants us to use discretion to decide a matter. let me go here. This is Numbers. This is another instance in which the Heavenly Father used discretion to decide a case, much like he used discretion. We just gave the examples about even within the natural law, he was using discretion. But he was doing that purposefully. He was defying those laws purposely because it was about furthering righteousness, boosting faith, and upholding his enduring attributes. This is Numbers 27. This is Numbers 27. In verse 1, it says, Then came the daughter of Zelophehad, the son of Helper, the son of Gilead, the son of Malchiah, the son of Manasseh, and the families of Manasseh, the sons of Joseph. And these are the names of his daughters: Mahlah, Noah, Haglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. And they stood before Moses and before Eleazar the priest and before the princes of all the congregation by the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, saying, Our father died in the wilderness, and he was not in the company of them that gathered themselves together against the Lord in the company of Korah, but he died in his own sin and had no sons. Verse 4, Why should the name of our father be done away from among his family, because he hath no son? Give unto us therefore a possession among the brethren of our father. And Moses brought their cause before the Lord. And Moses brought their cause before the Lord. And Moses brought their cause before the Lord, Salakia. And we know, well, matter of fact, we'll just read on. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, The daughters of Zelpah speak right. Thou shalt surely give them a possession of an inheritance among their fathers, brethren, and thou shalt cause the inheritance of their father to pass unto them. And thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel, saying, If a man die and have no son, they shall cause their inheritance to pass unto his daughter. And if he have no daughter, then ye shall give his inheritance unto his brethren. And if ye have no brethren, then ye shall give his inheritance unto his father's brethren, and so on and so forth. And it says, and if his father have no brethren, then ye shall give his inheritance unto his kinsman that is next to him of his family, and he shall possess it, and he shall be unto the children of Israel a statute of judgment, as the Lord commanded Moses. So what the Heavenly Father did once again is he used discretion to decide a case. And this didn't necessarily implement a new law in the sense of making it so that women can pass down an inheritance. What he did was he used discretion to decide a matter. This matter wasn't entirely laid out, and we know according to the law the inheritance goes to the men. The women don't necessarily get the inheritance, but the Most High used discretion to decide a case. And we can see that. Just further prove that I'm saying that the men still got the inheritance, but the Heavenly Father made it he used discretion. This is Numbers 36. I'm just going to further prove what I was just saying. This is Numbers 36 and verse 9. It reads, Neither shall the inheritance remove from one tribe to another tribe, but every one of the tribes of the children of Israel shall keep himself to his own inheritance, even as the Lord commanded Moses. So did the daughters of Zelophehad, for Mahlah, Tirzah, Haglah, and Milcah, and Noah. The daughters of Zelophehad were married unto their father's brothers' sons, and they married into the families of the sons of Manasseh, the sons of Joseph, and their inheritance remained in the tribe of the family of their father. These are the commandments and the judgments which the Lord commanded the hand of Moses, the children of Israel, and plans of Moab by the Jordan near Jericho. So we see that the Most High just made a small exception. This is him using discretion. You know what I'm saying? So this is another instance of the Heavenly Father using the discretion to decide a case within, within certain circumstances. This is 2 Samuel. This is 2 Samuel 12. 2 Samuel 12 and verse 8. 2 Samuel 12 and 8 reads, And I gave thee thy master's house and thy master's wives unto thy bosom. This is talking about King David when he committed the act that he committed. It says, And I gave thee thy master's house and thy master's wives into thy bosom, and gave thee the house of Israel and of Judah. And if that had been too little, I would moreover have given unto thee such and such things. Verse 9, wherefore hast thou despised the commandment of the Lord, and to do evil in his sight. Thou hast killed Uriah the Hittite with the sword, and hast taken his wife to be thy wife, and hast slain him with the sword of the children of Ammon. So what he did was he committed murder, and he committed adultery. Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up evil against thee out of thine own house, and will take thy wives before thine eyes, and give them unto thy neighbor, and they shall lie with thy wives in the sight of this son. Verse 13 is where I want to get. I'm just going to jump to 13. And David said unto Nathan, I have sinned against the Lord. And Nathan said unto David, the Lord also hath put away thy sin, thou shalt not die. So here it is again, the Heavenly Father using discretion to decide a case. He's using this discretion to decide a matter, which means he was operating within law and still not being judged by the law, because he was using goodness, long suffering, peace, meekness, and temperance. And he was using kindness, which is mercy, to decide his case. This is Deuteronomy. This is Deuteronomy 17 and verse 8. It reads, if there arise a matter too hard for thee in judgment, between blood and blood, between plea and plea, and between stroke and stroke, being matters of controversy within thy gates, then shalt thou arise and get thee up into the place which the Lord thy God shall choose, and thou shalt come unto the priest and the Levites and unto the judge that shall be in those days, and inquire, and they shall show thee the sentence of judgment. And thou shalt do according to the sentence which they of that place which the Lord shall choose shall show thee, and thou shalt observe to do according to all that they inform thee, according to the sentence of the law which they shall teach thee, and according to the judgment which they shall tell thee, thou shalt do. Thou shalt not decline from the sentence. You know what I'm saying? So basically, some matters are too hard. Some matters are like above your strength. And that's why the Heavenly Father, everything is not all clear cut and laid out, in law. Some things require discretion. Some things require you to seek the Heavenly Father. Like the matter. I love to go to this account, but just because it's such a good account, and it points out. Using discretion to a T, because King Solomon, he had to make the decision about cutting a baby in half. Where he used discretion to decide that matter, but he used love, to decide that matter. I love to quote that, because it was a beautiful. It just exhibited it beautifully. So some matters are above just clear-cut law. You know what I'm saying? That's why it says if some matters are too hard for thee, some matters are just not as clear-cut as you may think. Some things require discretion. Second Esdras. This is Second Esdras 1. In verse 4, it says, and the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, go thy way and show my people their sinful deeds and their children their wickedness, which they have done against me, that they may tell their children's children, because the sins of their fathers are increased in them, for they have forgotten me and have offended and have offered unto strange gods. Am not I even he that brought them out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage? But they have provoked me unto wrath and despised my counsels. But Salakia, pull thou off then the hair of thy head, cast all evil upon them, for they have not been obedient unto my law, but it is a rebellious people. How long shall I forbear them, into whom I have done so much good? Many kings have I destroyed for their sakes. Pharaoh with his servants and all his power have I smitten down. All the nations have I destroyed before them. And in the east I have scattered the people of 2 provinces, even of Tyrus and Sidon, and have slain all their enemies. Speak thou therefore unto them, saying, Thus saith the Lord, I led you through the sea, and in the beginning gave you a large and safe passage. I gave you Moses for a leader and Aaron for a priest. I gave you the light of the pillar of fire and great wonders, and have done among you. Yet have ye forgotten me, saith the Lord. Thus saith the Lord Almighty, Lord, the quails were as a token to you. I gave you tents for your safeguard. Nevertheless, you murmured there, and triumph not in my name for the destruction of your enemies. But ever to this day do you yet murmur. Where are the benefits that I have done for you? When ye were hungry and thirsty in the wilderness, did ye not cry unto me? I guess verse 23 is the point. I gave you not fire for your blasphemies, but cast a tree in the water and made the river sweet. So we see that the children of Israel actually blasphemed. And we know according to blasphemy, verse 23, it says, I gave you not fire for your blasphemy. So the Heavenly Father gave them mercy instead of death for their blasphemies. And we know according to blasphemy, you're supposed to be put to death. This is once again the Heavenly Father using discretion to decide a case, and he's using discretion to decide a matter, and we're supposed to learn from the Heavenly Father. We're supposed to be perfect as our Father in heaven is perfect. So we're supposed to learn from his ways and move accordingly, and this isn't saying that we're above the law. It's in a sense we become above the law in the sense of having love, joy, peace, long suffering, letting these things be the things that rule in our life. Love, joy, peace, long suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance, because there's no law against them. That's what makes it above the law. That's what makes you above the law. That's why the Heavenly Father used discretion to decide cases, which made him not, it's not so much that he was violating his own law, it's that he was above it by way of the spirit that he was coming in. This is Leviticus. It's Leviticus 24 and verse 16. It reads, And he that blasphemeth the name of the Lord, he shall surely be put to death, and all the congregation shall certainly stone him, as well as the stranger, as he that is born in the land. When he blasphemeth the name of the Lord, shall be put to death. So we know that blasphemy is supposed to be met with death. Just to make that point. This is Hosea, and this is going to probably be the last point I make, just to wrap up the lesson. This is Hosea 4:14. It reads, I will not punish your daughters when they commit whoredom, nor your spouses when they commit adultery, for themselves are separated with whores, and they sacrifice with harlots. Therefore the people that doth not understand shall fall. So we see that the Heavenly Father is not punishing people for committing whoredoms, and not punishing them for committing adultery. This is because the Heavenly Father once again was using discretion to decide a case. He was using discretion. He was allowing his greater attributes to shine forth. Because he's a balanced power. So Lord willing, this was edifying. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Kakadash. Special shalom to those that are laboring to be in the spirit of Lord Yahweh Shai. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Shalom.